By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to give every single dollar you earn a specific job so that nothing slips through the cracks, your savings grow automatically, and you finally feel completely in control of your money. You will have a step-by-step plan you can start today, not next month, not when things calm down, but tonight, before you go to bed. Here is a number that stopped me cold. The average American has no idea where 40% of their monthly spending actually goes. 40%. That means if you earn $5,000 a month, you are potentially losing track of $2,000 every single month. Over a decade, that is $240,000 that just vanished into the void of forgotten subscriptions, impulse purchases, and financial fog. But what if I told you there is a budgeting method so powerful that people who use it consistently report saving an extra $600 per month on average without earning a single dollar more? But before we get to the psychological trick that makes this method nearly impossible to fail, one that most financial advisors never share because it is almost too simple, let me walk you through exactly how this works and why traditional budgeting has been setting you up for failure your entire life. In this video, you are going to learn 3 things that will fundamentally change your relationship with money. First, I am going to show you the exact framework that forces your brain to treat every dollar as precious. Second, you will discover the category most people completely forget that silently drains thousands from their accounts every year. Third, I am going to give you the specific weekly rhythm that turns this from a chore into a 5-minute habit you actually look forward to. Quick, if you have ever gotten to the end of the month and wondered where all your money went even though you swore you would be more careful this time, hit the like button right now. It tells the algorithm this content is valuable and helps us reach more people who need to hear this. Let me paint a picture you probably know too well. You sit down with good intentions. You pull up a spreadsheet or download some app everyone recommended. You create categories. You estimate what you think you spend, and you feel productive. For about 3 days, then life happens. An unexpected expense pops up. You forget to log a purchase. The numbers stop matching reality, and within 2 weeks, that budget sits abandoned, like a gym membership in February. The frustration is real. According to a recent survey, 65% of Americans have no idea how much they spent last month. Not a rough idea, no idea at all. This is not a personal failing, this is a system failure. Traditional budgeting asks you to predict the future and then punishes you when reality does not match your fantasy. You end up feeling guilty, defeated, and convinced that you are just bad with money. Meanwhile, credit card debt in America just crossed $1.14 trillion. The average household carries over $8,000 in high-interest debt, paying roughly $1,400 per year just in interest. But here is what nobody tells you. The problem was never your willpower. The problem was never your income. The problem was that traditional budgeting uses backward logic that fights against how your brain actually works. Zero-based budgeting flips everything on its head. Instead of tracking where your money went after the fact like some financial archaeologist, you assign every dollar a purpose before you spend it. Here is the core principle. Income minus expenses must equal exactly 0. Not because you spend everything recklessly, but because every dollar has a designated job, including the dollars whose job is to sit in savings or pay down debt. Think of your money like employees. Right now, most of your dollars are wandering around the office with no clear responsibilities, getting into trouble, disappearing on coffee runs that turn into 3-hour adventures. Zero-based budgeting means every dollar clocks in with a specific assignment. Some dollars work in the rent department. Some dollars handle groceries. Some dollars are assigned to the retirement investment team. And some dollars have the very important job of sitting in your emergency fund doing absolutely nothing until they are needed. Here is where most people get this wrong. They think zero-based budgeting means you cannot have fun or flexibility. Wrong. It means you decide in advance how much fun costs this month. You want to spend $200 on dining out? Perfect. That is not irresponsible. That is intentional. The difference between a zero-based budget and no budget is not restriction. It is intention. Let me give you a concrete example with real numbers. Sarah earns $4,800 per month after taxes. Before zero-based budgeting, she had a vague sense that rent was about $1,400, bills were around $300, and the rest was for whatever. She saved almost nothing and ended most months slightly overdrafted. After switching to zero-based budgeting, here is her exact allocation. Rent, $1,400. Utilities, $150. Car payment and insurance, $420. Groceries, $400. Gas, $120. Phone and internet, $110. Minimum debt payments, $300. Emergency fund contribution, $200. Dining out, $150. Entertainment, $80. Personal care, $60. Subscriptions, $40. Miscellaneous, $100. Extra debt payment, $270. Stop. Before I continue, this next part is critical. Notice that her income minus all those categories equals exactly zero. Every dollar has a home, but more importantly, notice she still has dining out, entertainment, and personal care. This is not deprivation. This is allocation. The magic is that when she only has $150 in her dining out category, she makes different decisions. She says yes to the dinner that matters and no to the random Tuesday takeout that she would not even remember by Thursday. Now, let me share the category most people completely forget. I call it the annual expense trap. Think about what you pay once a year. Car registration, maybe $200. Amazon Prime, $140. Holiday gifts, $500. Annual insurance premiums, maybe $600. Pet vaccinations, $300. Home maintenance, potentially thousands. These expenses total $2,000 or more for most people, and they always seem to arrive at the worst possible time because you did not plan for them. Here is the fix. Create a category called Annual Expenses and divide the total by 12. If your yearly irregular expenses total $2,400, you need to set aside $200 every single month. That money sits there, growing, waiting. When your car registration comes due, it is not an emergency. It is a line item you have been preparing for all year. Most people skip this step. Do not. The next concept you need to understand is the difference between zero-based budgeting and envelope budgeting because they are related but not identical. Traditional envelope budgeting means you withdraw cash and physically put it in envelopes labeled for each category. Zero-based budgeting is the philosophy behind it. You can do zero-based budgeting entirely digitally. This next section changed everything for me. The real power of this budgeting method is not organizational, it is psychological. When you have to physically move money from your entertainment category to cover a grocery overage, you feel that decision. You are not just overspending, you are robbing your future self of a movie night. That tangible trade-off changes behavior in ways that simply tracking spending after the fact never can. Here is a real-world example. My friend Marcus was spending $400 a month on food delivery without realizing it. When he started zero-based budgeting, he allocated $200. The first week, he hit that limit by Wednesday. Instead of just overspending like before, he had to physically decide to take money from his vacation fund to order more Thai food. Suddenly, cooking did not seem so bad. Within 3 months, his food delivery spending dropped to under $100, and his vacation fund grew by an extra $300 monthly. That is $3,600 per year from changing one habit. The mistake 80% of people make with the zero-based budgeting method is setting their categories based on what they think they should spend instead of what they actually spend. If you have been spending $500 on groceries and you budget $300 because some article said that is what a family should spend, you will fail immediately. Start with reality, then optimize. I need to pause here because this is where most people go wrong. Your first zero-based budget should be descriptive, not prescriptive. Track your actual spending for 1 month without judgment. Then create your categories based on truth, not aspiration. After you see where your money really goes, you can start making adjustments. Cutting 20% from a category you actually understand is sustainable. Cutting 50% from a number you invented is not. If you have made it this far, you are already ahead of 95% of people, and what I am about to share in this next section is the most valuable part of this entire video. Do not skip it. Subscribe to Wealth Decode Plus if you have not already. We drop a brand new money strategy every single day at 6 p.m. Hit that notification bell so you never miss one. Now, let me show you the weekly rhythm that makes zero-based budgeting actually stick. Most budgeting systems fail because they require constant vigilance, checking apps daily, logging every purchase, maintaining spreadsheets. That is exhausting. Here is the 5-minute weekly review that changes everything. Every Sunday evening, you do 3 things. First, you reconcile the past week. This takes 2 minutes. Open your accounts, confirm your spending matches your categories, and adjust any miscategorized transactions. Second, you preview the coming week. This takes 2 minutes. Check your calendar for any events that will require spending. Birthday dinner on Thursday? That comes from dining out. Oil change on Saturday? That comes from car maintenance. No surprises. Third, you assess your trouble spots. This takes 1 minute. Which category is running hot? Which has surplus? Can you move money proactively to prevent problems? That is it. 5 minutes, 1 coffee, Sunday evening. This tiny ritual creates more financial awareness than hours of anxious app checking throughout the week. But here is what nobody tells you about maintaining this system. Your budget is a living document, not a stone tablet. The goal is not to predict perfectly. The goal is to respond intentionally. If you overspend on groceries, you do not beat yourself up. You do not abandon the whole system. You adjust. You move money from another category or you reduce that category next month. Flexibility within a framework is the entire point. Let me give you a specific scenario. You budgeted $100 for gas, but prices spiked and you need $130. You have 3 options. Option 1, reduce dining out by $30 this month. Option 2, take $30 from your miscellaneous category. Option 3, note it and increase your gas budget by $15 for the next 2 months, while decreasing something else by $15. All 3 options are valid. All 3 options keep your total at 0. None of them involve guilt or abandonment. Now here is what to do today. This takes under 10 minutes. Download a zero-based budgeting app. I recommend YNAB, which stands for You Need a Budget or Every Dollar. Both are built specifically for this method. Create your account, link your bank accounts or plan to enter transactions manually, and set up your first rough categories based on your best estimates from memory. Here is what to do this week. Track every single purchase without judgment. Do not try to change behavior yet. Just observe and record. At the end of the week, review where your money actually went and adjust your categories to match reality more closely. Here is what to do this month. Complete 1 full 30-day cycle using the zero-based method. Conduct your Sunday review 4 times. By the end of the month, you will have real data, real insights, and real momentum. The specific tools I recommend are YNAB, which costs $14 per month but offers a 34-day free trial, or Every Dollar, which has a solid free version. Both sync with your bank accounts and both are designed specifically for zero-based budgeting. If you prefer spreadsheets, search for Zero-Based Budget Template in Google Sheets. There are excellent free options that work perfectly. Now let me answer the question I planted at the beginning of this video. What is the psychological trick that makes this budgeting method nearly impossible to fail? Here it is. Zero-based budgeting works because it eliminates the gap between intention and action by making every spending decision a conscious trade-off instead of an unconscious habit. When you know that buying those shoes means physically taking money from your vacation fund, you make different choices. Not because you have more willpower, but because the cost is visible, tangible, and immediate. You are not saying no to the shoes. You are saying yes to something you want more. Let me recap the 3 key takeaways from today. First, every dollar needs a job before the month begins, which eliminates the financial fog that causes most overspending. Second, your first zero-based budget should reflect reality, not aspiration, so track actual spending before you try to optimize. Third, the weekly 5-minute review is the secret weapon that turns this from a failed experiment into a lifelong habit. Comment below. Which of these strategies are you going to try first? The app download, the Sunday review ritual, or the annual expense category? I read every single comment, and I will personally reply to as many as I can. In tomorrow's video, I am revealing the debt payoff method that mathematically outperforms both the snowball and avalanche approaches, something that took me years to figure out, and most people never learn. Subscribe right now so you do not miss it.